Welcome, everyone, to After the Refresher. I am your host, Angelo Garcia III, Principal Industrial Hygienist at Future Environment Design's Training Center. Thank you for tuning into our show today. The After the Refresher program will provide you with information and introduce you to individuals who have attended our refresher courses. During this episode, we want to basically cover what we've been covering in our refresher classes over the past couple of weeks. But we wanted to get the information out there regarding the comment periods that will be closing soon. So we will basically calling attention to our recent blog post, EPA and OSHA have interesting timing for asbestos regulation. You can find that blog post at futureenv.com. And this is our website here, and you can find the blog post here. So if you scroll down, there's the blog post about EPA and OSHA have interesting training timing for asbestos regulations. So you click on that and you get the full article there. Our blog post is bringing attention to the fact that OSHA's public comment period ends August 21st and EPA's public comment period closes on August 24th. Both these comment periods are open to basically make changes to the regulations and write new regulation as part of the legacy issues. So let's talk about OSHA first. So OSHA last year, all right, we basically wrote a blog post about that, and that basically is here. And as you can see here, these were the proposed OSHA proposed changes, which raise important safety concerns. And this proposal came out July 1st of last year, 2025. OSHA proposed several changes to the asbestos standards respirator requirements. Comments for that proposal closed on November 1st after an extension, which the original closing date was September 1st. Our company submitted comments on the proposed changes, and our comments were do not make these changes because these changes are very, very dangerous. The comments, other voices were added to ours, and basically over 50 plus comments were made, with most of these comments saying the same thing. If you would like to know the details, all right, you can read our blog post here. But one of the points I'm going to highlight was OSHA's requirement, proposed change to eliminate the HEPA filter requirement. And as you can see here, by eliminating the HEPA filter requirement, it would allow any filter to be used, a filter even as filter as small as 95%, all right, of filtering, and that lowering or allowing that filter to be used would basically increase a worker's exposure to asbestos to 24,000 asbestos fibers in an 8-hour day. So, in my opinion, that is a very, very dangerous change, along with some of the other changes they wanted to make, which were also very, very, very dangerous as far as I'm concerned. So, this is your chance to tell OSHA how dangerous this proposal is, and we hope you do so. So now let's talk OSHA. So let's get back to our original blog post, and here we see EPA is looking to create regulations in kind of the opposite direction of OSHA. All right, so the EPA comment period is looking for answers to questions which they published on the site that indicate a leaning towards what regulations they are considering writing to mitigate the unreasonable risk to human health that asbestos poses that was found under the legacy uses and associated disposals of asbestos risk assessment. Legacy uses is in regards to millions of asbestos-containing materials that remain in schools, commercial buildings, industrial facilities, and homes throughout the United States. At one point, it was written that basically 50% of homes in the United States contain some form of asbestos. Unlike the Part 1 rule, which focused primarily on ongoing commercial uses of chrysotile asbestos, Part 2 addresses the asbestos that already exists throughout our built environment. EPA specifically stated that the additional information will help it develop practical regulatory requirements, science-based science-based worker protections, and feasible implementation strategies. That last point is important. Protecting workers is essential, but regulation must also recognize how asbestos work is being performed in the field. As we said in our blog post, several of these questions are very interesting. For example, there are questions of how basically, there are questions on how are small asbestos projects being done. Also, there are basically questions about how self employed people are handling asbestos. And the famous phase contrast microscope and TEM debate. As many of you know, this debate is something that I've been talking about for years, and our blog post regarding the fallacy of phase contrast is on our website. So if you want to know more, right there, that picture tells you everything you need to know about the problems, right? Phase contrast is only able to pick up certain types of fibers and does not distinguish between asbestos and non asbestos fibers. Well, electron microscopes can distinguish the difference between fibers and is able to see the fine and short fibers, which PCM is unable to see using that methodology. So, why are we basically doing this episode? Well, basically, we're doing this episode because this is your opportunity to be heard and to contribute to rulemaking regarding asbestos. Your experience can help ensure future regulations improve worker protection while remaining practical and achievable. We encourage you to review EPA's questions carefully and consider submitting comments based on your professional experience. Your input could influence how legacy asbestos is regulated for years to come, affecting worker protection, building owners, contractors, laboratories, and consultants nationwide. In closing, we hope you take this call to action seriously and provide comments to both OSHA and EPA. Remember, you don't have much time. The comment period ends August 21st for OSHA, and the docket for public comments for EPA closes on August 24th. We hope our discussion was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you at our refresher course. Until next time, be safe, and thank you for watching the After the Refresher podcast. See you soon.